Hey Athey kids and parents! This weekend we are finishing up the amazing story of Esther. The Jews were living as exiles in a foreign and unbelieving land. During this time, Haman, an enemy of the Jews, sought to destroy all the Jews. But even though God performed no obvious miracles, he was still present to protect his people. So the king and Haman went in to eat with Queen Esther. And the king said to Esther on the second day also, "What are you asking for? I will give it to you. What is it that you want? I will give you as much as half of my kingdom." Then Queen Esther answered, "My king, I hope you are pleased with me. If it pleases you, let me live. This is what I ask, and let my people live too. This is what I want." Then King Xerxes asked Queen Esther, "Who is he that wants to kill you?" Esther said, "A man who is against us, our enemy, this wicked Haman." Then Haman was filled with terror before the king and queen. The king stepped away, and Haman begged Esther to save him. The king came back from the palace garden to the banquet hall, and he saw Haman falling on the couch where Esther was lying. The king said, "Will he even attack the queen while I am in the house?" As soon as the king said that, servants came in and took Haman away. Haman was put to death the very way he had prepared for Mordecai. Then the king was not so angry anymore. Then the king took off his signet ring, which he had taken back from Haman, and he gave it to Mordecai. Then Esther put Mordecai in charge of everything that Haman had left when he died. Once again, Esther spoke to the king. She begged the king to stop the evil plan of Haman the Agagite. Haman thought up the plan against the Jews. "Now write another order in the king's name. Write it to the Jews as it seems best to you. Then seal the order with the king's signet ring. No letter written in the king's name and sealed with his signet ring can be canceled." These were the king's orders. The Jews in every city have the right to gather together to protect themselves. They have the right to destroy, kill, and completely wipe out the army of any area or people who attack them. The one day set for the Jews to do this was the 13th day of the 12th month. They were allowed to do this in all the empire of King Xerxes. A copy of the king's order was to be sent out as a law in every area. It was to be made known to the people of every nation living in the kingdom. This was so the Jews would be ready on that set day. The Jews would be allowed to pay back their enemies. So the Jews themselves defeated those who hated them. Mordecai was very important to the king's palace. He was famous in all the empire. The Jews in Susa made it a day of joyful feasting, and it also a day giving presents to each other. So the Jews agreed to do what Mordecai had written to them, and they agreed to hold the celebration every year. So these days were called Purim. And so the Jews set up this custom. They and their descendants would celebrate these 2 days every year. God arranged for Esther to be queen. Then he worked through Esther and Mordecai to preserve his people and destroy their enemies. Wicked men were caught in the trouble that they had planned, while the godly were exalted to positions of honor. We are excited to see you guys this weekend. Until then, God bless.